So another adventurer have found their way to my forge, it seems, to exchange their hard-earned coin for my enchanted weapons. You must have traveled far to reach me, but I'm afraid my services are hard-won these days. Those who find their way to my remote little hamlet, led by hearsay and reputation only, are often disappointed. My days of forging weapons for heroes and nobles are all but over now. I have become reclusive since I left the city life behind. It is a simpler life I seek these days. The contentment of a well-made nail or horseshoe is enough for me. I am not turning you down, adventurer, not outright at least. I am willing to listen to your request. It would be a shame for such a long journey to be made in vain. And even if we come to no agreement, you are welcome to linger for a while. We have a cozy little inn just down the street, and the forest is a peaceful place when rest is needed, and safe enough in daytime. Tell me, adventurer, what is it you need made so badly and so well that you have traveled all this way to visit me? There are other master blacksmiths in the city, unless I am mistaken. I was not the only one, though most of them do not have my knack for weaving enchantments into steel. Are you emboldened by ambition, driven by desperation, or strengthened by enduring hatred, perhaps? For something must be smoldering inside of you, constantly, to travel so far and out of the way. They complain about it, yes, almost all of them. The few and far betweens that make it all the way out here from time to time. But that is the point. I want to be hard to find, so that the ones who do find me are worth my time. And all the hotheads whose anger subsides in a day or two, or whose wallets cannot even pay for the materials I need, are sifted out by the time and effort it takes to reach me. You do not look like one of them. I can see that your motive is serious. What is it you would ask of me, then? A blade. And what is that at your hip, if not a blade, and not a badly made one either, by the looks of it? Why would you need another one? Yes, that is correct. I cannot weave enchantments into cold steel. They can only be added when the weapon is first shaped. What sort of enchantment did you have in mind? A magic weapon to slay a magic beast. I see. A noble cause, if the beast is vicious. But most monsters come in the shape of men, in my experience. This one is a giant serpent, you say, and it prowls the city streets at night. An unnatural beast, then, created by some foul magic. Yes, we have heard whispers of it, even here so far away. If its creator is who I think he is, this serpent will be immune to many things, including unenchanted steel. Beast or no, I am reluctant to aid you. No need to show me your coin purse, adventurer. That is not the issue here. In the past, I have seen my creations used selfishly and without constraint, even when purchased with the best intentions. When the city was my home and my knack for enchantment was made known there, the rich and powerful came in troves to acquire my services. They wanted weapons that fought on their own, with little to no skill needed. Blades that paralyzed and poisoned, axes that returned to your hand after throwing them, arrows that never missed their mark. And I was happy to oblige. I was young and foolish, proud of my creations and tempted by the coin. Where are they now, my past creations? What have they been used for since I last laid eyes on them? Their wielders could render their opponents helpless, without the slightest chance of victory or escape. I am done creating enchanted weapons for the rich. The rich have enough power, and weapons should be used for fair battle, not for slaughter. When it dawned on me what I had created, what the consequences of my vanity had been, I left the city, and I never once looked back. How I ended up here is a story for another time. But when I stumbled into this village, hungry and without a penny to my name, the villagers aided me and welcomed me with open arms. They had no blacksmith when I arrived. The last one died a while ago, and with no apprentice to pick up his mantle. A bit of luck, I suppose, but smithing work is always needed. I could have found employment almost anywhere. Every town, village, and tiny hamlet needs a blacksmith after all. Without one, no one else can do their job. We would not have carriages or ships or houses. Carpenters and farmers would not have tools, and nobody would get their teeth pulled either. The forest dwellers, those who keep the old faith, still believes the shaper of the world was a blacksmith, and the world his anvil. Makes sense to me. Smithing is the art of creation, of shaping one thing into another. Raw material is bent into intended shape, molded from chaos into something with a purpose. 'Tis dirty work, creation, building a hot and smoky fire every morning, and my tools are heavy, they require muscle to be used. And the metal must be warmed until it radiates with heat and yields and softens, white hot like the sun. Then I work with hammers and with tongs, beating it, twisting it, shaping it, and the smoke and dust that fills the air is also in my breath. My vocation fills me, inside and out. When I chose this path, many years ago, I started like most do, apprenticed to another of the same trade, fetching water and coal, learning how to heat and reheat the steel. I cooled it too, in air, oil, or water, depending on how strong and flexible the metal had to be. 'Twas difficult at first. You have to develop a knack for it. The color of the steel tells how hot it is, but to see, you need experience. I ruined more than one of my master's works while I was learning, but he was a patient man. For years I did lay down the groundwork for his creations, before I made a single weapon of my own. I knew he had a knack for magic, my old master, but unlike me, he had the wits to hide it. When we were alone, he taught me how to enchant steel or iron in the making, when it was burning hot with the fires of creation. How the magic could be spun and weaved with will and intention, voice and hand. You could perhaps call my enchantments alloys. All I do is combine and blend different elements. Like brass. Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc, like an enchanted sword is an alloy of steel and magic. I doubt that I will ever pass that knowledge on. What can be used for evil will be used for evil, and caution and temperance will not prevail if great power is also offered. My art is best forgotten. My old master made nails and hammers and knives, barrel hoops and iron fittings, and he weaved his magic into them to make them strong, to make them light, to help in other ways. And he told no one what he did, and made no more coin than other blacksmiths. I live now by his example. Old Eleanor, my neighbor, has weak knees and lives alone. I gifted her a pair of boots the other day with metal embellishments. Decorational, I told her, just a gift. But she does not know that they help her walk and gives her the strength to carry her washing and her firewood. And the ring I also gave her soothes the pain in her aching joints. I work late into the night most nights, long after my apprentices have laid down their work and gone home. I teach them smithing, nothing more. Enchantments would be beyond them anyway. They do not have an aptitude for magic. But I still practice, late at night, when the forge is empty. I help the villagers in unremarkable, invisible ways. No horse wearing one of my horseshoes will ever stumble. No tool made by me will ever break or miss. Some of them suspects, I think, that they get a bit more than they asked for. But if they realize that my enchantments are not exclusive to my richest customers, they do not speak of it. We have a silent understanding. They praise me as a competent blacksmith, nothing more. You must have realized by now, adventurer, that this blade of yours will cost you dearly. If it will be made at all, that is. You could convince me of your pure intentions, of all the good you could do with one of my enchanted weapons. If your reasoning is sound, I might be swayed a little. But what I really want from you is something altogether different. Most city dwellers who seek me out are of noble birth. They are all too used to getting their way with coin and rank and do not like rejection. I can tell that you are not like them. Your armor is worn, but well fitted and maintained, and you wear it like a second skin. You rest your hand on the pommel of your sword with the ease of an old and ingrained habit, and its presence is reassuring to you, is it not? Your weapon is an extension of yourself. Might I assume that you are quite experienced, an adventurer of some renown and success, hired by the city to slay the serpent, and given sufficient funds to seek me out? You are right about this beast of yours. The giant serpent is too formidable for any normal blade. You need a magic one, made specifically to slay this serpent, or you will not prevail. and so I seem to have the upper hand, adventurer. I do, in fact, have a task in mind for you as payment for my services. I seek redemption for my past mistakes, for my greed and for my pride. I created weapons that should never have been made. If you can retrieve 3 of them so they can be unmade in the heat of my forge, I will make you a blade that can kill the serpent, in spite of all its magical immunities and spells. I can describe them for you, my past creations, and tell you who I sold them to, although they might have acquired new masters since I last laid eyes on them. In addition, every single one bear my mark somewhere on them. The head of a wolf, quite small, carved into the hilt or handle and painted red with a golden outline. If you find this mark, you know the weapon is of my make. 3 of them, adventurer. I will accept no less. Let me know of your decision before you leave the village, and come at night when we can talk in private. Take your time, my offer stands. The task is difficult, but not impossible. I believe you can prevail, and luck often saves a man if his courage holds.